CPM General Secretary Sitaram Yechury മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുന്നു തത്സമയം.
Urging upon the Indian government to provide all the possible assistance on a humanitarian level to Nepal in this situation. You know, the Himalayas are a very fragile mountain range yet, so one earthquake with one epicenter in one place, it often does not stop there. So they'll have to be vigilant about further damage. But we want this government to do what it can to assist Nepal and also to attend to our people's problems in North Bengal in that area. That having said, the parliament session is on. I thought it's not even 1 week since the party congress of the CPM is over. But since the Kerala State Committee was meeting today, though on not a very major political agenda, but I still thought it would be incorrect not to come here because Kerala is the largest unit of the CPIM in the country, one of its most militant as well as creative units, which gave us the first experiment of a communist government being elected in a free democracy, so to speak, free democracy. But since it's a very important unit, I thought it would be correct that I'm here. So this is my first visit. So don't ask me anything about your party decisions yet, because many of these decisions are yet to be taken. The first meeting of the Politburo will be held on the 16th and 17th. of May, where we will work out our entire division of responsibilities, the reporting on this 21st Congress decisions, and all the follow-up action will be done accordingly subsequent to that. And the Central Committee is also meeting in the first week of June. So all these organizational matters will follow from these meetings. So do not try to preempt me from these bodies taking the relevant decisions that they should take. But politically, I mean, we are going through a very intense phase in the country because the parliament session is on. We've had this very unfortunate and very inhuman suicide by a farmer at the AAP rally in Delhi. Unfortunately, the entire discussion seems to be as who's responsible for allowing this farmer, rather than discussing the conditions which have led to our farmers continuously committing such distress suicides. The National Bureau on Crime has reported that every half an hour, virtually 36.1 minute, every 36.1 minute, you have a farmer committing suicide somewhere or the other in the country. Such is the degree of agrarian distress. And since this Modi government has come, you first had drought. Before the drought relief could reach the agrarian sector, you had unseasonal rains. And whatever harvest was there, the official report says 100 million hectares, that is 18 crore hectares, of cultivated land where the crop was standing has been damaged by this unseasonal rain. Now there are forecasts of a weak monsoon. But luckily, coming to Kerala, I find that the monsoon may be a little advanced, or a very good monsoon seems to be in the offing. But if that happens, then this crisis will be terrible. The BJP had promised at the time of the elections that they would give the minimum support price to the peasants, to our kisans, which will be 50% above the cost of production as calculated by the Bureau, by the Central, it used to be known as the Bureau, now the name has changed, Central Bureau of Agricultural Costs and Prices. What they estimate as the cost of production, they said they'll give 50% more. That has not seen the light of the day. Even today, it is estimated officially by the government that the cost of production is higher than the minimum support price. Given this, the Indian farmer, the Annadata, that's what we call them in various Sanskrit languages, this Annadata cannot get a livelihood out of agricultural operations. And that has very serious consequences for our food security and all the other programs like the Rural Employment Guarantee, your public distribution system, etc. So this issue will be discussed in the Parliament. We'd like to pin down the Modi government on giving assurances to particularly our rural people. And on top of all this is this land acquisition law that they are bringing. It is now before, it will be before us from Monday onwards in the Rajya Sabha. So we have decided that in the Lok Sabha, this is a new bill. This ordinance was promulgated and a new bill with new amendments officially made by the government has been brought before the House. Normally, such a new legislation goes to the Standing Committee of the Parliament for a proper examination. The BJP has refused to allow this to happen. So what it will be, that will be a crucial issue. And the other one is the goods and services tax, the GST. Many state governments continue to be ranged against it. The central government, the finance minister gave the assurance in Parliament, they have talked to the state governments and all the state governments have agreed. But that does not appear to be the case, including your Kerala government. You opposed it all, some aspects of it. So there are a lot of negotiations that needs to be done between the center and the states on the states' revenues that should have come without this GST. So that process I don't think is completed, but they want to ram through this bill. And in the Lok Sabha now, with the majority that the BJP has, which I have defined in the Rajya Sabha, I spoke and it's officially in the record, saying that the BJP uses the tyranny of the majority in the Lok Sabha to pass all these legislations without any proper discussion. And they charge us with using the advantage of numbers in the Rajya Sabha, and where these are all stuck up because proper discussions have just not taken place. So what will happen to these two crucial bills, we'll have to see, the land acquisition and the GST. In any case, the government is not going through a proper parliamentary preparation. They are trying to bulldoze what they want and what they think is in the interest of the country, which is actually in the interest of business or corporates, both international and Indian people. That sustainability, unfortunately, despite all the warnings that it happened. So how the CPIM is going to, A, strengthen itself in its basis, that is Bengal and Kerala, and B, how does it expand? And that is the subject matter of our entire discussion for 6 days in our party congress. But you will all know the tangible aspects of it only when we decide on those discussions and the decisions. And then how we are going to carry forward those discussions, that you will have to wait till my Politburo and the Central Committee.
What was the real problem?
Well, I don't see any issues of conflict of that nature, though. There's no section unlike Nepal, there's no section in the CPM that's talking about armed struggle and, taking up to arms and all that. So now we were trying to get them into democratic politics in Nepal. That's what my effort was. There's nothing of that comparison as far as Kerala is concerned. Everything in our party is done on the basis of a collective discussion. Then we come to a decision, a collective decision, and that decision is the decision of the party. And difference of opinions which we may have in the party is good. Without that, there is no life in a party. But once we come to a collective decision, that's it. And there's no problem in that.
You mean that the conflicts in your party gives the life for the party?
Not conflicts. I first of all say there are no conflicts in my party. There may be difference of opinions. Those are not conflicts. And what is it? That is in a party democracy, no? Why is it a subject matter of such, sometimes discussion, sometimes amusement here in Kerala? I don't know. I know you have a very strong competition between various news channels, various newspapers. So you'll have to, you're talking about creating space in Delhi. You have to create space for yourselves. So, but let that not be at the expense of, of misrepresenting us forever.
So, but what would be the role organizationally of your senior leader, P.S. Achuthanandan, and will the issues that he has raised over the past few years be discussed again? Be it the way the CPM here led with the solar scam and the agitation against it, be it T.P. Chandrasekharan murder, he has been raising this again.
All these issues, ma'am, have been discussed in the CPM and a conclusion reached. All those you have mentioned. On all matters which have been discussed and conclusions reached, that is the decision of the party.
But the leader has been raising this issue again, even, and Alapura, that's what has been seen him, which led to him walking out from your conference.
Well, that walking out is a matter, as a subject matter of a PB commission that it has been referred to there. Now the PB has changed. That's why I said you'll have to wait till the new PB and the CC decide.
So will there be a new PB commission?
I'm sorry?
Will there be a new commission?
Well, let the PB take its decision, no? How can I anticipate?
So from the time you have taken over, you have said that there's need to increase your mass base and the left has to do. But what are the immediate steps that you're not planning?
It's not even 6 days since I've taken over. So, I mean,
You have a roadmap.
no, we are in a hurry. I mean, we want to, we want to advance in a hurry. But even this is, this speed is also, I mean, phenomenal. What you are suggesting, I'm saying, I mean, our resolutions of the Congress are being finalized because a lot of amendments that came in that we've accepted, that will all be done. And on that basis, the new PB, when it meets, all these decisions will be taken.
You yourself and your party leaders in Kerala have been speaking in terms of expanding the LDF in Kerala. Two major constituents of the LDF, the RSP and the SJD, now the JDU, had walked out of the LDF or were forced to leave the LDF. How are you going to bring them back, or are they looking at them or somebody else in terms of expanding?
Well, there are discussions around. They just had a meeting of the LDF just now. Comrade Kairali will, I think if he's not already briefed the media, he'll brief the media about what happened. You see, remember, RSP is an All India party, it's part of our All India Left Front. JDU now is in a process of merger with the other parts of the Janata Parivar. So, let us see, I mean, once they take their positions at the national level, that will also have its impact in Kerala. So we will continue. We want the consolidation of the LDF, we want its expansion, and we want it to be a stronger force equipped to face the challenges that are there in Kerala politics today.
Do you see this coming together of Janata Parivar as a positive development? Because in the past also there have been several attempts, and also the Left Front have had various alliances with all these parties, and sometimes it has worked, sometimes it has not worked. So what do you foresee in whatever is happening in the...
You see, the Janata Parivar parties coming together, I would see it as a positive thing. Because if you look at it historically in India, the left stream in India, in Indian politics, left, had two components, the communist left and the socialist left. I mean, in those days, when in our younger days as students, I mean, the polemics and debates between EMS Nambudripad and Lohia, Ramano Lohia, were part of the whole debate of the direction of the country. Now, unfortunately, there were divisions in the communist left, the various parties that were formed, but there was a very serious rupture in the socialist stream. You had various parties, I mean, they virtually disintegrated. Now some effort is being made to regroup them. That is positive. I think that will have a very positive impact on Indian politics as a whole. Secondly, the question of, in the present context of the threat of this Modi government and the dangers of both the economic policies and the communal element, the hardcore Hindutva agenda, merging together. They merged together into one set of policy framework of this government. Against that, if they are uniting, that's also a positive development. Now, what is the program of the unity? What are the policies, etc.? That we'll have to wait and see. So it all depends on that. So since they have now decided only on a common leader, they've yet to come to decisions on a common flag, common program, common, even the name properly, what they'll register as. So let that process continue. But we think coming together of the socialist stream in India is a positive development.
On this land acquisition issue, do you think the CPM can make some kind of initiative in bringing together the opposition parties? Because there is some sort of unity inside the parliament, but outside there is no such unity as far as the struggles are concerned.
No,
Do you
they-
think that there are certain parties with which the CPM can, have a national agitation on this issue? Because it's now hotting up.
No, you see, what has already started and is in the process is a coalition of the Kisan Sabhas of various parties and the social movements. You see, the National Alliance of People's Movements, NAPM, that they are now together with our Kisan Sabhas, etc., joined this movement. There are national-wide programs that they are undertaking. There are going to be Kisan rallies that are being organized in various parts of the country. So in that sense, the struggling sections of the agricultural sector, Kisans, agricultural labor, etc., they are coming together. That's a very positive thing. And you'll find, in fact, after many years, we had a similar, we had on the same platform, you had Medha Patkar, you had me, you had, apart from the CPI, you had the socialist leaders on this issue at a convention in Delhi, and the call for struggle they have given. Such things are happening all over the country. Next week I'll be in Bangalore for a similar thing. So that is happening, that process. So the parties in parliament have also, 14 of these parties have together gone to the President of India. An unprecedented thing in recent period. So let us see how that will develop, but definitely every party in the, not only in the opposition, but in the ruling party, even if there is pressure, they cannot express it. They are feeling the pressure from the ground. As I said, there is an accumulated distress that is mounting in the agrarian sector. Apart from the weather, drought to unseasonal rain to bad monsoon, etc., that will play havoc. You also have the minimum support price not being adequate. You have the subsidies being cut, very severely being cut now in the last budget. So you have a mounting of burdens on the peasantry. And on top of that is land acquisition. No, it's so blatant is the land acquisition. The same government, this Modi government minister answers us to a question in parliament saying that as of now, more than 50% of the land already acquired for the special economic zones is lying unutilized. Already, that is more than 5 years, the land has been captured by these people for whom it was acquired. No production activity there going on. In that reality, now with this new law, can you imagine 1 kilometer on either side? You people should actually, take this, forget which political party you will promote in that process. That's not the issue, but take this to the people's consciousness, the media's role. 1 kilometer on either side of the national highways, the state highways, and the Indian railways tracks that you have, according to the new law. Have you ever calculated how much of land that is? It is 32.1% of all cultivated land in India today. 1/3 of your entire cultivated land in all over the country can be taken over with this acquisition. Can you understand the havoc it will create in the country? Not only the human issue of the peasants, they're committing suicides that will increase, etc. But where is our food self-sufficiency going to come from? Understand the gravity of it. It's not just a political battle of wits, like it appears as between opposition and the government. This is a very serious issue which has very serious ramifications for our country's future. And that is why all this is accumulating now on the peasantry. So there's pressure from this peasantry of each party to act. So that is bringing them. So let's see in the future how it